have some fun with that.
Scaring me.
Scaring you? You know what else was hard at first, but then ended up being a lot of fun later?
Just do that.
Yeah, exactly. This is fun now, isn't
Yeah.
it? Eventually, you're going to look back on this and you're going to go, oh, I remember when I was scared of sight reading jazz charts.
When I
But then
didn't
it's
even
going to
want
be
to
fun.
do jazz because it's jazz.
All right. Remind me what we worked on last time. We were just going through the Houghton book?
Yeah, went back into 2-bar phrases, and you had him kind of sight reading and going through those.
Okay.
So he hasn't gone to
something else that we did.
haven't gone to 4-bar yet. You also had him.
You know what might work as a nice warm-up? I've been doing a lot of this with my other students, so I think it would be good to review these. Okay. All right. Well, I think these would be good, because here's the big thing, right? So if you're not playing most of these, you lose them. And then you know what's really unfortunate? When somebody comes to you and says, hey, you know, this next song's going to be a samba. Can you play me a samba? And you go, oh, I used to be able to play a samba, but how does that go again? And you're kind of struggling to dig it out and try to find it, right? It's better if you can just launch into it, right? So, how about let's just kind of go through this list. Can you remember most of these? So, give me a couple different punk styles. Okay. You got any other ones? Like Big Cat, Little Cat? Do that, do that, do that, do that. Good. Okay, so you're kind of touching on what I'm doing with a lot of my other students right now, which it's not enough to know one groove and then just have that and nothing else, right? That's not enough. In the same way that there are very few songs that are just going to do this for 4 minutes. Well, I'm playing rock. You know what I mean?
I get it. This is...
Sure. So, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, you build proficiency by being able to work in some little flavor options, right? As well as being able to fill it between a verse and a chorus, because everything that you play will have something like that, right? So, let's take rock as a good example, right?
Yay, rock.
So to play a verse, do a fill, transition into a chorus that's going to be a little bit different, and then to be able to play another fill and come back down to a verse, right? So you've played enough songs, you understand what I'm getting at, right? You know what I mean? So to be able to do that in all these other styles would mean that you've got options, right? Instead of just, okay, I know this one groove for bossa, and all I know how to do is this one little groove. I don't know how to fill. I don't know any other patterns. I don't know anything. All I know how to do is... And you just do that over and over and over again with no other variation, right? How boring would a jazz tune be if it was just 7 minutes of... It'd be incredibly boring, right?
I'd actually be able to play it.
Well, yeah, yeah. So that's why we have other stuff, you know? We've got things like this. I do this one. I brought the pedal. Right? All kinds of extra little things that you can do in order to create kind of a verse feel, a chorus feel, an A section and a B section more than anything else, and to be able to fill back and forth between the two. Okay, so that's something that is important to do. If you can look at any of these and think, all I know how to do is a regular samba with a partito alto. That's all I know how to do. Then maybe we can do some improvements on that, and we can make it so that you've got some options for going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Same with our Afro-Cuban, because we have one of those in here, by the way.
Afro-Cuban, what?
Mm-hmm. That's what the buyout feet is for. It's for... Got one in here. Yeah, right there.
Afro quarter notes?
So, being able to understand that that's what it means, and then to be able to have some options, okay? So, I'm pretty sure you're good for punk, rock, and metal, right? You feel good with those?
Metal is kind of, yeah.
Okay. If I asked you to play a basic metal groove, what does that look like? What does that look like to you?
It looks like double kick on the hi-hat somehow. Like, you have the hi-hat closed somehow, and then you have double kick.
What about just a straight?
I'd have to do that too slow.
Now, another common one for that would be to be able to do that, but double time. Because you're playing more of the halftime one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. There you go. The other one is going to be blast beats, but that's going to be...
What's blast beats like?
So, do this. Watch. Do this. And then. And you have to do that back and forth very, 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 very fast.
Let me try.
So, that's a pretty common, like, double time groove. I'm talking about when they get to blast beats, though. This isn't going to be clean. I don't practice these. Being able to go really fast like that. So. Those are very particular because they take a lot of practice to build that kind of speed to go back and forth and be very clean about it, and it only ever gets used in metal. You won't use it in anything else.
I don't get to use it in something like that.
No, rock wouldn't have da 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 da. It doesn't. It doesn't play. So, what do you remember of your samba? What do you remember? So first off, start with the basic samba groove. Do you remember what the groove was before you get into Partito Alto? There you go. You keep your ride going. That's how you play it really fast. When you can play, when you can skate well, watch. Right? So it was a little bit watchy because I'm up here on a crash cymbal instead of on a ride cymbal, but boom, chippa boom, chippa boom, chippa boom, chippa boom. That's where that, like,
I don't
that
skate
brisk,
that fast, yeah.
that brisk kind of samba comes from. You learned the super mambo at one point, huh? Remember that? Yep. And then
What was it with?
the two parts are not correct, but you're hearing the melody in your head. So you're da do da do da do do da da. You're still playing the right melody, but it isn't the correct two parts. Isn't that funny? There it is. Yeah. So you're not playing that when you put your feet in, but you are still hitting the right melody. It's close. That's a tough one. So I think maybe what we'll do this week is check out just Google have Dad, I guess, have Dad Google a couple popular samba tunes and just listen to them. You might find that you like them. You don't know, right? One of my students, I don't know if you've met him before, but his name is Ben. He's about your age, got real curly hair and glasses.
I don't know about the glasses. I've seen somebody
maybe
my age
you would have only seen him in passing. You've never had a concert or anything with him. I've never sent him to Rachel.
Was that like right less than after?
It could be. It's both of you guys have been coming to me for a long time, but he loves Latin. It's his favorite. So we've been playing samba, we've been playing mambo, we've been playing bossa, we've been playing
jazz,
soca, we've been doing all these kinds of like.
What's soca?
Do da do da do da do da do. I'm pretty sure I showed you that one. I actually played that one today at the rehearsal. There's that new song that new worship song that came out that everybody's going crazy over that does that. No, not that one.
That is a worship song.
What is it? Brandon Lake, I think. It's called Praise.
Praise.
But yeah, it opens up. Do da do da do da do da do. Anyway.
I know that. I've actually heard that I heard that a long time ago.
Maybe.
It's
I mean, I guess I say new, but it's probably within the last year. But it's not super old, I guess, is all I'm getting at.
7.
I might have. No,
Yeah.
it's not that old.
Dun, 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 dun. The lyrics like praise.
Yeah, this one.
Praise.
We might have played this a little bit. Oh, copyrights.
That's fine.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I heard that.
So it's important to be able to play those in a lot of different ways, right? So you can also play up here. You can play. You can play like this. You can do it over there on the right and do the bell. Try it on the bell. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So in the song that we use in my church, for example, I've got a bunch of different ways that I will play the soca so that I have a verse, chorus, bridge, double chorus. I've got all these different ways that I can play it. I've got these other fills that work. A really popular one is triplet TT. Da 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 boom. So one triplet TT. Yeah. Although I guess I should say 3 triplet 4 and, because usually you're doing it at the end. A 3 triplet 4 and boom. Jaku. Yeah. Except that you rush like crazy afterwards. also known as reggaeton.
Rega?
Reggaeton. That's also a common name.
So Dad knows it.
Yep.
That's.
All right. So
Oh, yeah.
can we do that this week? Let's pick a style that you're no. You need to pick a style that you're not already really familiar with, and you
Metal.
should be listening to some.
I'm not familiar with metal.
I
as
understand,
much.
but and as much as it would be fun for me, I'm also being careful of the lyrical content at your age. So, which, you know, there are metal songs that don't have scary, gnarly lyrics, but
Is this a metal fill? What fill is that then?
what fill is it?
Well, like what? style?
5-4-5-4-3-3. So obviously you're gonna use it in any. You can use it in stuff that uses triplets for one. So you could use it in a shuffle. You could use it in jazz. The first time I learned how to do it was in the context of a big band jazz.
I use it in POD.
Okay, then you can do that too. I used it in one of the dance songs. So you can find places to put it in, but it's a triplet fill. So anywhere that you would want to put eighth note triplets,
I think
it'll
a
work.
5-5-6. Or no, sorry. 5-4-5-4-6.
Yep. But the reason I phrase it that way is because you're used to 3-4-5 being a measure. So you have 3-5-4 and 5-4-3. That constitutes a measure of triplets, right? So to take the 3 from the beginning and move it to the very end, then you have 5-4, 5-4, 3, which is how it adds up to basically 2 bars. Okay? All right.
I
So
can count it in triplets.
all right. How about this? Listen. When I'm talking to you, let's not be playing. Okay? Pick jazz, samba, bossa. Pick one.
Samba.
Samba? Okay. So this week, are you going to be around much, Scott?
No.
Yeah? Okay. So that can help you. Okay? But you should find some samba tunes. Google them, look them up. I'll admit that I'm not very current with all that stuff too. I've grabbed a couple for Ben, just but by using that method, just kind of Googling what's popular and then running those. Okay? So find some popular ones.
Do you have to make sure there are no bad lyrics?
Well, even if they are, they will likely be in Portuguese. So
How?
not only will you not know, but none of us will know. So,
How? Why are bad lyrics in Portuguese?
No, samba is in Portuguese.
Wait, what now?
Samba comes from Brazil. In Brazil, they speak mostly Portuguese.
Did they speak?
Right? That's correct, isn't
Did
it?
they speak English?
I mean, some do, but
Yeah,
you know,
that.
some, you know, I'll play it quiet for copyright purposes, but
Yeah, just pause the video.
I was doing this with Ben the other day. Where is? Nope.
Dance
It's
studio.
in here now. Yep.
Look what you made me do.
So you can treat this like a soca. Right? But we were kind of improvising over the top of it. We were making it a samba. Right?
How?
But
What?
did you notice that you didn't understand a word that he said, right?
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, you didn't
I-
catch a word that he said.
Bum, bum, bum,
This is in another language. That's
bum,
how it goes.
bum, 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 bum. It's confusing.
There are a bunch of other countries in the world where they do not speak English. And that's where these kinds of other world music comes from.
They do
Yep.
speak English there.
Well, oftentimes they speak English also, but we don't need to go into that. All right, cool. So we can work on that this week. And then when you come back next week, having listened to a couple different sambas, maybe you've got something that you figured out. You thought, oh, all of these sambas did this thing. I want to learn how to do this. Or like, oh, I already learned how to do this. Or can you show me how to do this? Or, you know, whatever the case. But we'll like kind of make a study out of it. Sound good? Okay. All right, let's jump into our jazz book. And then soon we're going to start checking out some charts. And I think it's going to be fun when we get to charts.
Is that today?
No. All right. How about, since last week went really good, why don't we just jump into 4-bar phrases? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
Oh, wow.
10 different ones. That's it. And then we hit ensemble passages. Ensemble passages, we're going to jump back and forth between these and charts because these actually are more difficult than your average chart that you're going to play.
Average. Is
But-
out of nowhere average?
Yeah, that's a high school chart. Okay, so a lot of the other charts that I have in here, these are middle school charts. It's advanced middle school, but it's still middle school charts. Okay, so if you could play this clean, you'd be able to play those charts because this is a lot more complicated. Yeah.
This is more filled
The
up.
big thing is that you have to, with your eyes, you have to, it's like recognizing letters, right? And we've talked about this before. So when I put something in front of you, these are some big words, but
A
repertoire.
repertoire of exciting rhythmic patterns to develop coordination for today's rock stats.
There you go. Could you do that if you didn't know your alphabet?
No.
No,
I wouldn't
right?
even understand what those are.
Yeah. So you have gotten so fast at recognizing letters and the way that they work with other letters because it's not always the same, right?
Or it can be that or something else.
Well, C can be K for coordination, but
Like
what about like
Pacific-
cents,
I was
like
say
pennies?
Pacific Ocean. It's
Yeah, Pacific
pronounced
Ocean,
all
right.
3 ways.
That's yeah, actually. So you've got both in there, Pacific. So you've got the S sound and you've got the K sound. But you have to know how they work with other letters in order to be able to pronounce those kinds of things, right? So we're doing the same thing here. We're learning letter recognition like this, right? What is that? What would we call this? What's our first letter here? What is that?
rest.
You're thinking jazz. Think jazz.
I think rest.
Okay, but what's the letter? The rest is correct. Roomba, rough bark,
Kick snare.
dooba dooba.
I think kick snare because I see
Oh.
rest.
Okay, but you need so switch gears. You got to be in jazz mode,
I am.
right? Okay. Rough bark, Roomba, dooba dooba. What is this?
Doobie-ba? No, hold on. Roomba.
Mhm.
Because it's dotted, which means it goes on.
And of one, and it's a long note, right? Good. What is this?
Let's say. I'm blanking.
Are you really trying?
Yeah, I'm
No.
trying.
Are you actually? Okay. Okay, because I know what happens is as soon as I start pulling this stuff out, the yawning starts happening and the sighing and I don't know. I think we've gone over this stuff enough times. I think you can do it. I think you know it. I think you're hesitant. You're reluctant. You're not wanting to, which is why you're not digging it out. I'm telling you, like everything else. See, there we go. That's what I'm talking about, right? This sort of tired. I don't really care anymore. I'm checking out. It becomes fun. It's worth it. How many times have I told you that before? How many times have I pulled out a book and you're like, this is too hard, it's frustrating, and I go, hang on, you can do it. And then once you're able to do it, then you're like, oh, I like doing this. We've done it for books, we've done it for solos, we've done it for stuff all over the place.
About 100
Since you were
times.
like this tall, right? Can you believe me again? Okay? I've proven to be true when I say those things, right? When you learn to recognize all of these, it sounds cool. Watch, swap. Listen to it.
Bubba's the yawning, the faking stops.
Yeah, you only get tired like you're full of energy, but you get tired like this as soon as I start talking about jazz. All right, follow along with your eyes. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's okay, because you're essentially reading a different language.
Yes.
You're a very good reader. If I put a book in front of you, a kid's book in Spanish, you're gonna have a hard time, right? Because it's a new language. It doesn't mean that you read at a kid level, a little kid level, right? But it's a new language, so you kind of have to start over in a way, right? Does that make sense to you? Music is going to be the same way, right? We're having to learn all of those little things, but I've gotten to a point where I see this, every time I see this, I go, oh, that's rumba. Boom, right here. Boom, right here. Boom, right here. Where else? Other places? Right there. Right? So there's it's all over the place. I look for all the dooba doobas. There's one right here. That's
here.
Yep, right there.
Here.
Right there. Good. That's what I mean. Right here. Dooba dooba. Right here. Dooba dooba.
Here.
Rough bark.
No.
Crash. Dooba dooba.
Yeah.
Rough bark bark. Because that's a short note. Right? Rough bark bark. Rough bark crash. Because it's longer. Right? But it starts to come fast. And when it comes fast, then I can put charts in front of you and you're going to like some of these songs. Particularly big band songs. It's a lot of fun. Combo drumming, that's an acquired taste. You may or may not develop a taste for that. I never really did.
Combo drumming is...
Combo drumming is...
Two drummers?
No, usually what it means is that you'll have like a drummer, some kind of like rhythm, someone to put down chords. So usually like a piano, maybe a guitar, something like that. And then you'll have one solo instrument. So usually somewhere between 3 to 6 people, a very small group for jazz. Jazz, that's very small. Rock, that's standard. But for jazz, that's small. Big band, you're going to have a bunch of trumpets, you're going to have saxophones, you're going to have a guy on piano, you're going to have a guy on bass, you're going to have a guy on drums, you're going to have all this different stuff.
Then I have like a conductor.
Trombone, you got all kinds of cool stuff. Usually the conductors of those big band things, they'll kind of get you started and then they walk away. They just let the drummer do it. So most of the time if you have a drummer, you don't really need a conductor as well. Theater gigs will do that, where they have a drummer and a conductor, but not often. Okay? But the big band stuff is really fun. It really is. I don't really love combo. Every once in a while I listen to some good combo stuff that I really enjoy, but that tends to be really brainy. It's like reading a book that has a million big fancy words. And it's like, ooh, this is a hard read, but you kind of feel good if you can understand it. I guess it's kind of like that.
Like, hey.
Like, wow, I can actually read this book and I actually understand what's going on. Like, this is pretty cool. I feel pretty smart. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe, I think. Would you say that's probably fair?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's go back to our 4-bar phrases. Alrighty, so we need to recognize the letters first. So, pick it apart. What is this?
Can be rough bark.
Right here?
Oh, sorry.
Even simpler. Yeah, just bass snare. And then this one. Look for that pattern specifically.
Rough bark crash.
Yeah, rough bark crash. Good. And then this is a little bit tricky because it's going to be on 2. Yeah. 2, 3.
4.
Uh-huh.
And then...
This is cool, actually. Yeah. See, you can do it. It's there. And then easy closing it out. Bop, boom, bop. Yeah. Maybe rough into a downbeat here. Yeah. All right. So try it real slow, work through it once, and then we can put it in time. That's the first measure.
So...
So now when you hit these, don't flam them like a rock drummer. Just play a left hand. Boom, bop, rough bark, crash, bop, crash. So we don't need to flam it. Just
No double. Just...
yeah. Cool. Yeah. What do you think? You want to try it in time? Would it be helpful to have a metronome on, or do you want to do it without a metronome first?
Let's try it with a metronome.
Okay.
Because it'll help.
I think it's a great idea.
Because it'll help me on the 2, 3.
I
You
agree.
have to wait. Cause
You're right.
crash.
Is this too fast? Boom, bop, rough bark, crash, bop, crash. Bark, 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 crash, bop, boom, bop, room. So maybe this is 2, 3.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Could it have been a little bit cleaner? Yeah. But did you get through it? You sure did? Okay. Again. Good. Flip these. Do bass snare instead of snare bass here. Other than that, I liked it. So I wouldn't hit a crash on that. I would move over to the right cymbal here.
I know. I keep forgetting.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm not calling you out. I'm giving you suggestions. Okie doke. Here we go. So how about let's do it one more time, and then we're gonna play 4 bars of time up front. And then you going right back into time is also a good decision because transitions are important. So you're even practicing getting back into your jazz time afterwards. Good job.
That's
Okay.
what I'm supposed to do.
Yep, you're right. So, do you like this speed or do you want a little faster?
130.
130 tends to be my comfort zone when I'm learning new stuff in jazz.
4 bars.
So 4 bars of time. Good. I like that. I tell my students that the first time that they ask me for the metronome, it's like, it's a pride moment. I'm like, yes. So I use the metronome when I'm not sure. So I think it's a great idea.
Everybody should.
Amen, brother. All right. So this next one's, there's a lot of notes on here. Do you know why? I think I've told you. When I went through this book, when I was first learning with my teacher, I struggled quite a bit. Yeah,
So
he had to write all these notes because it was tough for me to keep track of it. Okay? So it might be easy for you. It might not be. I'm not sure yet until you go for it. But here's the thing.
I want to look through this.
Dotted,
first.
dotted, 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 8. It's literally just dotted notes over and over again. But that gets weird, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It takes 3 measures before you land on beat 1 again.
And then
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
And 4.
So, all of that was correct except for that last one. But the rest of it was all right, and you counting out loud was a good idea. Do it again. That was great.
So I just go.
Well, don't worry about it right now. Just get the count.
And 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already confused. So it.
I'm gonna teach you a shortcut. I want you to try and see what you can come up with. And you might be like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this.
Stop and.
I want you to try to play it. However you think you can play it. I'm going to let you try it a couple times. and then I'm going to give you a shortcut. So don't get too frustrated because you've got an easy answer coming. I want to see what you come up with first, okay? Don't get too frustrated by it. If this is too hard, I'm going to show you something. You're going to go, oh! Okay?
So...
However you think to do this.
Can I play it like just snare?
If you're going to play just snare, then there needs to be some other time or something else going on. So, close. Good.
Did I go 1, 2, 4?
Yeah, you went one extra dotted note, which is why that one was a little bit late. But that was good. Do you think you could try swinging it now and do the same thing? What about that? Give it a shot. Tricky, huh? Because
I come in late.
That's okay. That's okay. So remember what I said. Don't get frustrated by it. You'll be okay. All right. So what makes this weird is that it's not in the same spot every time, right? Because sometimes it's a downbeat, sometimes it's an upbeat, and it moves. So to try to keep G, 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 it's a little bit trickier. Okay? Try one more idea, and then I'm going to give it to you, and then you're going to go, oh my goodness, this is easy. Okay? Pick one other way, one other approach.
So
What do you think?
1 and 2 and 8 and 4 and either keep 1, 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and
Yep. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can do that. Boom. That works fine.
2 and 3 and 4.
Yep.
Alright,
All right, give it one more shot, and then I'm going to show you, and you're going to go, oh. You ready? What if I played it like this? How about that? A dooba dooba, 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 ba dooba. Ah, makes it way easier than what you were trying to do before, huh? Yeah. So, which one sounds better, do you think? That last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you feel like a pro handling it that way. G, 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 ba, ba, da, dooba, dooba, a dooba, dooba, a dooba, dooba, a dooba, dooba, a dooba, dooba, ba, dooba.
I feel like...
And suddenly you'd be able to do it really fast, too. Yeah. So we took something that was hard, and we made it easy because we used a different approach, right? Because we remembered the letters. I remembered to use dooba dooba in here and figuring out how it lines up. Not so bad, huh?
You showed me this before, and now,
Okay.
just now I'm remembering.
And now you're remembering, yeah.
I'm like...
Okay, cool. That's 2 down, dude. You got 8 left.
Goodness. A lot.
Oh, what times did you guys get here, by the way? Not that I'm looking at cutting you off at exactly 45, but...
No. What?
We're at 39 right now.
Okay.
39 minutes.
Alrighty. Let's see if we can do... How about... Let's see if we can get 3 more.
3 more.
That gets you halfway. Then you can do the other half at home.
I will do my best to do the
Sure,
other
sure,
half
sure.
at home. He will
I will keep you on.
Yeah, it's only 2 things that I'm assigning you this week.
one that...
Listening to
do
samba.
The other thing.
Listening to samba. To the other thing. Yeah.
2, the other thing.
Okay, so I'm going to try to zip my lip on this one. I want you to use the approach that I showed you and work it out yourself. Unless you've got another approach that works, I guess. But how do you solve this? Think of it like a puzzle, right? So to try to look at it as a whole is kind of hard.
Back at number 2 and compare it.
Okay. That's a fair strategy. So measure 1 is very similar. The big thing is that note doesn't carry over to the next measure.
So 1, 2, and 3, 4. Doo-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-ba.
Okay. So
it would doo-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-ba.
Well, what do-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-ba would be if it were on the and of 4, but it's not. It's on 4. So it's actually simpler than that.
Doo-ba-doo-ba.
Yep. Yes, sir. Especially if you can play it one-handed, playing it two-handed won't be bad at all. Okay, that's measure 1 done. Look at measure 2. Starts off pretty easy, right? Yep. What is that?
It's a Roomba.
Good. Good.
I can't do it.
That's okay.
Because it's dotted, so it means it goes on longer.
So it's gonna go long. So
short.
Yep. So you're gonna do Roomba instead of rough bark because it's a long note. Okay. You're halfway done. What is measure 3? That's a common pattern, right? You know that one.
Rough bark, bark, crash. No, rough bark, a doo-ba-doo-ba crash. A doo-ba-doo crash.
Okay.
So rough
So I'm gonna tell you that this is where it gets tricky, right? Because look, if I take this away, you have rough bark bark, right? But the problem is you have a note immediately afterwards.
Rough bark, 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 crash.
Well, it's not an upbeat; it's a downbeat. If it was another upbeat and another upbeat, then you'd have no problem. Rough bark 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 crash, right?
Rough bark, 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 crash. Rough bark, 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 crash.
A rough bark, ba-boom. What does that sound like? Like Ellis Sapario.
I think his tone is like angled, so he can.
Yeah. So rough
bark,
bark, set up, crash on 4.
Crash, and then.
All right. Want to give it a shot?
One-handed, sure.
No.
Of course.
You don't need to make it harder for yourself. So, can we go over it again? Dooba-dooba, bop, boom, bop, roomba, rough bark,
like
set
this.
up, crash, snare, crash, room.
So it was.
Bass. Up.
Oh.
Rough bark, set up. Yep. I think when I put the metronome on, you'll be better in time. Or do you want 130?
I want 120.
Okay, I thought so.
For now, so I can.
Sounds good.
Do it.
I would like that.
One measure at a time before going in,
Okay.
so I can like orient myself.
Okay. So much for that. Pretty cool, huh? You're like, I need to do it one at a time just so that I can orient myself, and then you boom, blast out the whole thing.
Yay! 4 measures of 4 bars at a time, then I go in.
Yes, sir. Okay. You finished. Right? You didn't quit halfway through. Good. Do it again. Nice. There's all your comping too. When you do the 4 measures up front, feel free to comp if you want. All right, can we do 2 more today?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Of course. Maybe even 3.
Pretty easy, right?
Crash. Crash.
Oh, you're close. Yes. Is that a long note or a short note? There you go. Same as this. We've done it before.
Crash.
Just crash with your string. Yeah.
And then dooba.
Yeah. You can do dooba dooba on 2. You can also.
Bucket of fish?
No. You can also bop rough bark. So both of those are good. Whichever one you like, you're allowed to use.
Bop rough bark.
Okay?
I'm gonna do it 120 first.
Sure. And then you're home free.
Dooba! 1, 2.
All right.
4
Ready?
measures of time.
So, do you want to?
I don't need 4 measures of time. I want like 1 measure of time. Then I can.
Okay. You got all the way to like right there was perfect, and then one little fumble, but you still made it to the end. Good. Do it again. Good job. That wasn't a bark. I don't think anybody in the band would be like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, that was bark?
Right? Because it's a short
no
note.
idea.
Good, right?
I want.
130. Oh.
Yeah, I totally want 140.
Okay, go again. I'm not gonna beat you up for it. Okay, you getting closer?
I keep losing it. I'm like,
yeah, that's okay. No problem. Takes a while to get used to it. You did it great at 120. The faster it goes, the less time your brain has to think, which is why it's harder. Nice.
Messed up on one part. One part.
That's all right. I think that's good enough. I want to make sure that we get halfway. But that was very, very close, so I'll take that one. Okay? All right. Take a look at number 5 one more time.
1, 2, right, what? So 1.
So when you have a bunch of quarter notes in a row, feel free to just do bass snare. Yeah, when the line goes out like that, that means hold the note. Don't make it short. So that's just dooba dooba. You can play it either on a crash or you can play it on a ride, but just don't do it on a bark, because that's where that line is for. I guess as long as you don't close the bark, that could also work.
Play it as a sizzle.
Yeah. Alrighty, one more, dude, and we're all done for today. Good job. You got it. You know what's fun?
What?
That's a crash on 2. You know what you can use when there's a crash on 2?
I do.
Bucket of fish. Into it.
1, 2, 3, bucket of fish. Crash, bop, boom, bop, rough bark, bark, crash, a dooba dooba.
Oh.
Easy peasy. because there's 2 barks before it, you just rough, bark, bark, crash. Good.
I like
Yes.
this.
Okay. Ready? Bucket of fish. Bye. So you gotta start your bucket on 4.
So, alright.
Yeah, you. Whoops, I'm a little late. Trying to get there quick. Alright. Okay, you got it. So this is another upbeat.
So, like, I could just.
Bop, bop, rough, bark, bark, crash. So careful about waiting, right? Because there's 2 different ones. There's the one where you do rough, bark, bark, crash. That's on a downbeat. But if it's on an upbeat, rough, bark, bark, crash. Stay up, up, up. This is 1, 2, 3, and. Rather than 1, 2, 3, and 2. Right? There's a difference. You're doing good though. We're almost done.
The last one.
Mm-hmm. There it is. All right. This is it. This is for all the marbles.
Dude, it's a 500.
500.
I'm done.
All right. For all the marbles. Is an extra little pickup because they're all on and. So watch when I do it. Boom, ba, rough, bark, bark, crash, a do, ba, do, ba. That helps me a lot.
I knew it.
That helps me a lot.